up with you on this Wednesday starting right now. Delighted you are there. Delighted they are here. Always bickering. Neek and Kmart are ready to go. Rob Ninkovich is ready to roll today. He'll do some imitations as the morning goes. Oh, look at him. He's getting ready to go. And RG3 will strike a pose as we get up with you this morning. But we begin with the game of the night and a good one from the NBA. Stars were out last night. KD and the Nets taking on Luka Doncic, who was back from an ankle. And the Mavericks under 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Mavs are up 9. Luka finding space. Mavs would lead by as many as 17. But Brooklyn fighting back. Just over 7 minutes to go. Nets down just 3. Durant, yes, he was 10 of 22 from the floor. Under 6 to play now. Mavericks are behind by 2. Luka pulling up from 3. Just 3 of 11 from three-point range for Luka, but that one gives the Mavs the lead. Nets down 2. Durant, a tough shot. He had 24. We're tied at 95. Under 2 minutes to go. How about Harden? Working on Luka. That's not a good matchup for Luka. 23 for James. Nets up by 3. Here we go. Here's your ball game. 20 seconds left. Nets holding a 3-point lead. Dallas, where are you going to go? Step back. Luka, no good. Hold on. Offensive rebound. Porzingis got it. Where are we going? Plenty of time left. 10 seconds. We're working it around. What's the shot that you want if you're Dallas? Is it Tim Hardaway Jr. from 32 feet? I'm not sure, but that's what they get. And it doesn't go. Durant 24, Harden 23, 12 assists and 9 boards. Brooklyn comes all the way back and wins it by 3. KD nearly outscoring the entire Mavericks team by himself in the fourth quarter. He had 11 on 5 of 6 from the floor. Mavericks entered the fourth with an 11-point lead. They shot just 4 of 21 in the fourth quarter. More hoops as we continued. But speaking of Dallas, let's get to the football team. They begin a week where they will play the Washington football team, and it's a critical Week 14 showdown. Dallas coming off a Thursday night victory in New Orleans, so they've got a little bit of a rest advantage. Washington, meanwhile, has won 4 straight. They're 2 back in the division with 2 cracks at Dallas the rest of the way. The Cowboys need Zeke to get going. He's been held to 50 yards or less on the ground 5 of the last 6 games. Cowboys just 3-3 in those. As for Dak, he's thrown as many touchdowns as interceptions over the last 3. So why is he struggling? Jerry Jones was asked if Dak is healthy. He gave this very interesting answer.
The thing that you're seeing is sometimes the pass that looks errant is because the receiver, for instance, ran the route, cut it off 2 yards short, 2 more yards before he makes his cut. Can make all the difference in the world as far as his ability to separate. And so if you're not really crisp on the way the play was designed relative to how many yards you go, the cut, passing game can look really off. That's one of the answers. Better routes.
Okay, so there's that. Kimberly, I will let you begin. Jerry Jones has decided that it is the receivers who are not running the routes crisply enough that are contributing to the problems. What is our reaction to that?
Okay, Greeny, I'm conflicted because you can't listen to Jerry Jones and not think his voice is just delicious, right? You can't. It's like, if you're not gonna run the routes crisp enough. Like, I love that. Except if I were a Cowboys receiver, I'd be like, wait a second, like this is on me now. I feel like Jerry stumbled into a coach's meeting. Like he went to the back of the room and was just like, oh, taking notes. Like, oh, okay, when I go on radio, here's what we're gonna do, because it can't be Dak. It can't be the guy I love. But this is the problem with, not the problem, but this is the situation in Dallas. Jerry owns the team. Jerry will always talk, whether you like it or not. I'm sure they're immune to it. It just sounds wrong to us.
They've gotten used to it. I don't think any of the receivers upset. And the top receivers, the ones who he cares about, they haven't been playing much recently. So I think it's a fair thing for him to suggest. But I do think that, like, Dak deserves some culpability in all this, and I'm sure he's taking it. They'll get better. But fortunately, they're going up against Washington this week, who I think a lot of people think are better than they actually are.
No,
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I mean, I want to get into that game, but I wanted to get a quick thought, just quickly if we can, on Jerry of it all here. And let me come to Ninko for that, because I was just trying to imagine that same conversation with Bob Kraft. And I'm just imagining Robert Kraft. Well, you know, as I watch it the other day, N'Keal Harry seems to be cutting off the route 2 yards too short. I just can't picture that taking place, Ninko. What do you make of this?
Well, there's a song sang by the Proclaimers, and the title is "Follow the Money And that is why he's throwing the receivers under the bus. Because if you follow the money, Dak is the highest paid quarterback that he's ever paid. As far as the owner, Jerry Jones, has never paid a quarterback that much money. So he's not going to throw Dak under the bus. He's going to throw the receivers under the bus. So follow the money. You will follow that money to the receivers because they are underneath the bus. Boom, boom.
Generally seems to be run the football. We do get a lot of that here, but I do like the point. RG3, let me come to you, and I want to pick up with where Nick was going, because I could see this thing going one of two ways. I mean, Washington has played their way back into a position here where this is a very important game. Are they going to surprise a lot of people and make this division a race with a win on Sunday?
Oh, if they win the game, I think it becomes a race. But when you look at the Cowboys, Jerry's statement, I agree with everybody, follow the money. He's not going to blame Dak. It's going to be somebody else's fault. But what he's talking about is how disjointed this team is, right? Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, they've all only played 3 games collectively together. Zeke hasn't been quite healthy. Dak missed a game. The offensive line has been putting lipstick on a pig for the entire season. So for them, moving forward, if you look at when they win games with Kellen Moore and Dak, they throw the ball about 33 times a game. I think that's what they have to get back to. They can't throw the ball 35, 40 times a game, and they have to find their identity. They've been struggling with their rhythm because they haven't had a consistent lineup going forward, but now they're going to go into a Washington team that's playing really well on defense, and if they leave the game close, Taylor Heineke can make enough plays to push Washington over the edge. But we're going to see what type of team Dallas is down the stretch as they have this onslaught of NFC East games coming up. We'll see if they're real or if they're pretenders.
That's exactly right. And so, Nick, I'll come back to you because this is where I cut you off because I wanted to get one more thought in on the Jerry of it all. But it sounds to me like you were saying you don't expect Washington to make this the game I expect them to.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a little bit rainy, so maybe that plays into Washington's advantage. But I think the talent that Dallas has is too much. And getting back Randy Gregory, from my view, has been the most important player on their defense all season when he's been healthy. He's going to come back. Dak's going to get his receivers back, which obviously matters according to Jerry Jones, who not only is the owner, is a respected football guy. He's built this great roster that we all respect. I think that is going to be the difference in this game. Talent will prevail.
Yeah, and just to sort of finish it up on that thought, all these teams, I mean, Arizona has played without their quarterback for half the season. They lost their coach. They played without DeAndre Hopkins. All these teams find ways to win when they have problems. It feels to me like there was a lot of excuse making for the Cowboys here. This guy's been hurt. That's the really good teams find ways to win regardless. They need to win this game on Sunday and convincingly.
100%. I feel like this whole season we've done Get Up. I feel like we've talked about every week is a referendum on the Cowboys.
Right.
Every week.
Yes. You're welcome.
But here's the thing. I find it interesting Dominique isn't giving the Fighting Heinekes much of a chance
That's
this
right.
week. Because here's the thing. When you talk to defensive coordinators, you talk to defensive players, they highlight him. They say this is a guy, they lost their quarterback and still they're in every game. He's a gamer. He's a competitor. You might think at home he's just another guy. But guess what? Washington's on a roll and they have nothing to lose. So
going to be very interesting. We have much more on this game as we continue because this could make so many things so incredibly interesting. But I want to go back to Monday night if we can here. The Patriots have had just a remarkable turnaround and a remarkable performance against the Bills Monday night. They ran it 46 times. They threw it 3 in a 14-10 win in Buffalo. And after the game, Bills coach Sean McDermott raised a lot of eyebrows when he said this.
Let's not give more credit than we need to give credit to Bill Belichick in this one. It was, whether it's Bill or anybody else, they beat us, right? But you sit here and you tell me when we start with the average starting field position at the 40-yard line and he starts with the 20.